Number 1. Gregg. On March 19, 2024, in Brandon, Mississippi, Ashley Smiley, a 40-year-old high school math teacher, was at home when her 14-year-old daughter, Gregg, took out a firearm from their bedroom and fatally shot her. The incident occurred after Ashley confronted Carly about her use of certain substances, leading to a heated argument and finally resulting in her death. After the shooting, she invited a friend over and showed her mother's body. She then lured her stepfather, Heath Smiley, home through text messages, intending to ambush him. Upon his arrival, Carly shot him in the shoulder, but he survived the attack and managed to disarm her. During her trial, the defense argued she suffered from mental health issues, including depression and hearing voices. However, after 4.5 days of trial, Carly was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Number 2. Isabella Guzman. The relationship between 18-year-old Isabella and her mother, Yunmi Hoy, had not been going well, escalating to the point where she sought police assistance due to her daughter's increasingly threatening behavior. On the day of the murder, Guzman sent her mother an email stating, "You will pay." That evening, in August 2013, as her mother showered, Guzman's stepfather, Ryan Hoy, heard a commotion and his wife calling his name. Rushing upstairs, he found the bathroom door blocked. After briefly retreating to call 911, he returned to see Isabella exiting the bathroom, holding an object and walking past him without a word. Inside, Yunmi Hoy lay lifeless, having been brutally injured 79 times. Immediately after the incident, Isabella fled, but was apprehended the following day. During her trial, she pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Psychiatrists diagnosed her with schizophrenia, noting she experienced severe delusions, including believing her mother was not her real mother. In 2014, the court accepted her plea and committed her to the Colorado Mental Health Institute. In 2020, she sought release, claiming her mental health had improved. However, the court denied her request, ruling that she remained a public safety risk. Number 3. Sierra Halseth. In April 2021, 16-year-old Sierra Halseth and her 18-year-old boyfriend, Aaron Guerrero, conspired to murder Sierra's father, Daniel Halseth, in Las Vegas. The couple had been dating since June 2020, and their parents had forbidden the relationship after discovering the teens' plan to run away together. On April 9th, concerned family members contacted authorities after being unable to reach Daniel. Responding officers discovered Daniel's body in the garage. An autopsy revealed he had suffered over 70 wounds. Investigators found receipts for saws and gloves used in the crime and surveillance footage, showing the couple using Daniel's debit cards to make the payment. The couple fled Nevada in Daniel's car, heading toward Salt Lake City, Utah. They were apprehended days later after purchasing train tickets. On Sierra's phone, police discovered a video where they joked about the murder with no remorse. Sierra, being a minor, was ineligible for the death penalty. In October 2022, Sierra and Aaron were sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 22 years. Number 4, Sophia Koval. On May 23, 2024, in Lauderdale Lakes, Florida, 14-year-old Sophia Koval was at home with her 79-year-old grandmother while her father was visiting a friend. Upon returning, Sophia's father discovered his mother unresponsive on the floor, with bruises all over her body. Emergency responders transported her to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Sophia initially claimed self-defense, saying her grandmother scratched her, so she struck her with a belt multiple times. Further investigation revealed that Sophia also used her grandmother's walker to beat her. She reportedly told her father, "She was already dying. I helped her die." The medical examiner ruled Yevgenia's death a homicide. Sophia was charged as an adult with manslaughter and pleaded no contest. She was sentenced to Florida's maximum risk juvenile program for up to 3 years, followed by community supervision until age 21. After completing her sentence, Sophia, a Ukrainian citizen, is expected to be deported. If she violates her terms, she could face up to 15 years in adult prison. Number 5. Natasha Cornett. Natasha described herself as a Satan worshiper. On April 6, 1997, 18-year-old Natasha Cornett and her 5 teenage companions embarked on a journey from Pikeville, Kentucky, aiming to start a new life in New Orleans, fleeing their troubled pasts. During their trip, they stopped at a rest area in Greenville, Tennessee, where they encountered the Lillelid family. The Lillelids, devout Jehovah's Witnesses, engaged the group in conversation, sharing their faith. Seizing an opportunity to acquire a more reliable vehicle, the group decided to carjack the family's van. Violently, they forced the Lillelids into their own van and directed them to a secluded area. There, the family was lined up near a ditch. Then, 14-year-old Jason Bryant, who was the youngest in the group, shot the Lillelids. The husband, wife, and one of their children died instantly, while the last child survived, but was left permanently disabled. After the shootings, the teenagers abandoned their vehicle and fled in the Lillelids' van. 2 days later, they were apprehended. Facing charges of first-degree murder, all 6 individuals accepted plea deals to avoid potential death sentences. Natasha Cornett, despite not being the shooter, received 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Number 6. Tess Damm. In 2007, 15-year-old Tess Damm convinced her 17-year-old boyfriend, Brian Grove, to murder her mother, Linda Damm, in their Colorado home. Tess claimed her mother was abusive and neglected her. On the day of the incident, Tess and a friend, Jared Smith, waited outside in their getaway car. Grove entered the home and severely carried out the act on Linda, using a knife on her 18 times. After the incident, the group hid Linda's body in the trunk of her car and spent days attempting to dispose of it, including failed attempts to bury her at a cemetery. Police discovered the body during a welfare check. All 4 teenagers were arrested shortly thereafter. Tess pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 23 years, while Grove received 40 years. In 2020, Tess Damm was granted parole after serving just over 10 years of her sentence. She was released at age 28. Number 7. Scarlett Jenkinson. In February 2023, 15-year-old Scarlett Jenkinson and her friend, 15-year-old Eddie Ratcliffe, orchestrated the premeditated murder of 16-year-old Brianna Gay in Culcheth, Cheshire, England. Scarlett had previously been transferred to Birchwood Community High School, where she met Gay. She developed an obsession with Gay, expressing desires to kill her so she would always be with her. Both Scarlett and Ratcliffe harbored fascinations with violence. She consumed content about serial killers and accessed dark web videos, while Ratcliffe collected knives and had purchased the murder weapon during a trip to Bulgaria. On February 11, 2023, Jenkinson lured Gay to Culcheth Linear Park under false pretenses. There, Gay was ambushed and fatally stabbed over 28 times. The brutality of the attack and the young ages of those involved shocked the community. Both assailants were arrested the following day and charged with murder. In December 2023, they were convicted. Jenkinson received a life sentence with a minimum term of 22 years, and Ratcliffe received a minimum of 20 years. Number 8. Jordan Jobson. On August 2, 2007, in Wallsend, North Tyneside, 15-year-old Jordan Jobson, under the influence of drinks and substances, became involved in a street altercation. During this incident, 18-year-old Samantha Magin, a new mother who had given birth just 2 months prior, attempted to intervene to defuse the situation. Jobson, armed with a knife, attacked Samantha. Tragically, Samantha died of her injuries at the scene. Following the attack, Jobson was arrested and charged with murder. Despite her plea citing intoxication and lack of intent, the jury found her guilty of murder. Initially sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 15 years, her sentence was later reduced to 11 years upon appeal. After serving her sentence, Jobson was released on license in December 2020. However, within 6 months, she was recalled to prison for breaching her license conditions. As of May 2021, Jobson remained in custody, awaiting a parole board review to determine her suitability for re-release. Number 9. Charlie K. Ely. In April 2011, 18-year-old Charlie K. Ely became involved in the brutal murder of 15-year-old Seth Jackson in Summerfield, Florida. Ely lived alone and had allowed several individuals to stay at her home, including Michael Bargo, Amber Wright, Kyle Hooper, and Justin Soto. A plan was devised to lure Seth to Ely's residence for them to carry out the act on him. Amber Wright, Seth's ex-girlfriend, contacted him under the pretense of rekindling their relationship. When Seth arrived at Ely's home, he was attacked by Bargo, Hooper, and Soto. They beat him, shot him multiple times. The group then sort of cremated the body. Ely was accused of providing the location for the murder and assisting in the plot. She claimed she participated under duress, stating she was threatened at gunpoint to comply, but was convicted and sentenced to life without parole. In 2020, her conviction was overturned due to ineffective counsel. She pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, received a 10-year sentence, and was released. Since her release, she has kept a low profile. Number 10. Cassandra Bjorge. In April 2017, 17-year-old Cassandra Bjorge and her 19-year-old boyfriend, Johnny Ryder, murdered Cassandra's grandparents in their Lawrenceville, Georgia home. They planned the attack carefully, waiting for the lights to go out before entering. They beat the elderly couple with a baseball bat, then fatally used a knife on them. After the murders, they sealed the room with caulk to contain the smell and hosted parties while the bodies were still there. About a week later, police discovered the crime during a welfare check. Authorities tracked the couple to an apartment, and they were arrested. In February 2018, both pleaded guilty to murder and aggravated assault. They were sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms, with the possibility of parole after 60 years. Number 11. Frena Torres. In October 2018, 17-year-old Frena Torres, along with her accomplices, Khalil Miller and Nicholas Evans, orchestrated a robbery that led to the tragic death of 21-year-old William Tunches in Gwinnett County, Georgia. The group lured Tunches to a secluded area under the pretense of a transaction. Once there, they ambushed him, stealing his cell phone and cash. During the confrontation, Tunches was fatally shot. His body was later discovered by children walking along a trail, prompting a police investigation. Authorities swiftly identified Torres, Miller, and Evans as suspects. They were arrested and charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery. At her court appearance, Torres appeared stunned upon hearing the severity of the charges against her. The case drew significant media attention due to the ages of the perpetrators and the senseless nature of the crime. As of now, specific details regarding the trial outcomes and current sentences of Torres and her accomplices remain undisclosed. Thank you guys for watching. Which of these wicked female teenagers deserves to spend their lives in jail? Comment below.